with confidence. Call 217-545-8000 to schedule. That's 217-545-8000 or click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com. SIU Center for Family Medicine in Lincoln, moving health forward for you.
Tune into all of WHOW's platforms on AM, FM, and streamed at IllinoisFarmRadio.com for live coverage of the DeWitt 4-H Fair featuring 4-H'ers from DeWitt, Piatt, and Macon counties, the Farmer City Fair, and reports from the Illinois State Fair this summer. Our coverage is brought to you by our title sponsor, Apex Clean Energy, growing a better future for local farmers and landowners and our local communities, along with Longview Community Bank, Warner Hospital and Health Services, and Gibson Ace Hardware, all in Clinton, and Macon County Farm Bureau, where membership means value. The State Bank of Bement in Bement and Monticello, and Maroa Ag in Maroa, your growing partner every step of the way. Read all the results from judging at the DeWitt 4-H and Farmer City Junior Fairs by clicking the fair results icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
From the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. At the August DeWitt County Board meeting, Highway Department employees and union representatives addressed the board regarding contract negotiations. Board Chair Joe Whitty explains that no action was taken by the board regarding the negotiations at the meeting. They were unable to because it was not a part of the meeting's agenda. He says negotiations with the Highway Department are ongoing and their next meeting is set for early September.
For some context, really the board took no action on anything last night. We had some members of the Highway Department as well as a union representative address us during the public comment period, which, they're free to do so. But the board really had nothing on its agenda to address that situation. We know that those negotiations are ongoing. We have a labor attorney who's representing the county and other representatives with the county that, sit in on those negotiations. It's not, all board members involved directly with it, but we do get reports back. And I understand that we're not at an agreement now, but again, we're working to get to there. So that's our focus. I understand the frustrations on both sides, but again, there's really nothing for us to do at this point, except for to continue to respect that collective bargaining agreement process and continue to negotiate the table. We've got additional meetings scheduled in September, so I'm hopeful that we'll make some progress.
Whitty clarifies that the union did serve a notice of intent to strike, which is required for a strike to be considered lawful. This does not mean that the Highway Department will strike. However, it does imply that they could.
To be clear, they served a notice of intent to strike, and that's a statutorily required step that the union has to take. They have to serve notice several days before they were to ever be able to strike. So, they're doing what they need to do. It's not an actual strike at this point, and it's just an attempt that they might. What are we doing? We are continuing to support negotiations and work to come to an agreement. We want to make sure that we're doing what we need to be doing at the collective bargaining table where both parties can be heard. And so we continue to support that and have discussions at the board level. In finance committee, I know there was a report, some discussion about how negotiations are going, and so we're going to continue to honor that process. And they took a step that they felt that they needed to take, but at this point, it doesn't change what we're doing. Our goal is still come to an agreement at the table.
The board authorized a 5% raise for the Highway Department last year. Whitty says that now they are asking for a raise above and beyond what they had previously been given. While he values all of the county's employees, he adds that they need to make fiscally responsible decisions.
Yeah, so I don't remember how long their contract was. It was set to expire last December, but there's a provision in there where both parties can continue that. So they're under a contract right now through December of this year, December 1st. We authorized a 5% increase last year,
Mhm.
and they accepted that. And so that's the agreement that we have in place right now. And what we are obviously doing is trying to negotiate for a future contract. But they are requesting an increase above and beyond that 5%. Now we thought 5% was a very generous raise, not just for them, but for a lot of our county employees. So
Mhm.
I think of what the current economic environment is, and I felt good that we were able to offer 5% last year. They came back. Their latest proposal is they're seeking an additional 12.5% for 3 employees and another 14% for 2 employees. That's on top of the 5%. So their latest proposal would amount to a 17.5 to 19% raise for employees in the highway department. That's down from the original proposal that they had of 21%. So we value all of our employees. I value all our employees. Highway department, those that are in the county building,
Mhm.
animal control, but that's fiscally irresponsible to even entertain a wage increase at that size. So obviously we need to continue to negotiate, but we have mentioned yesterday, we've got a fiscal fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers and the residents as well. And something as large as what they are requesting, it's not doable. So again, our goal is to continue to negotiate, come up with something that's fair, and that's what we're going to continue to work towards.
Serious labor law violations were alleged against the county, including not coming in with the intent to negotiate and threatening highway department employees with termination. Whitty has publicly denied these allegations. However, the Illinois Labor Relations Board has opened an investigation.
So I think the allegations were that we didn't come in. The exact violation, phrase or whatever terminology they use. It's essentially that they are saying that we didn't come in with an intent to negotiate. We came in with our original offer and haven't budged. And then I think the other allegation was that we threatened them with termination, which is untrue. So, when there's an allegation like that made, I think they served notice to the Illinois Labor Relations Board. They're doing an investigation and we're preparing our response. But I know that the board's position has never been that, we were going to terminate all employees if they start. We have no position on that. We have a contract in place that has some language about what our rights are, and we reserve our rights under that contract. But our goal has 100% been, let's get this resolved at the bargaining table, and we're not making threats. We haven't instructed our labor attorney to. So there's going to be the investigation, and we will send in our report with our evidence by the date of September 5th, I think was the deadline. So that's in the works. But my understanding is that the board has not been part of those allegations.
The next opportunity for negotiations to take place is September 5th. The county maintains the position that they are in favor of coming to an agreement. Going over the tentative budget is a yearly practice for the Clinton School District and happens during the August school board meeting. Superintendent Drew Goebel explains that during this meeting, they are finalizing the state funding that they receive, like the Corporate Personal Property Replacement Tax, or CPPRT funds. He notes that this budget is considered tentative because there are times when new funding opportunities present themselves.
Yeah, I went over the tentative budget. So every year, kind of on schedule, at the August board meeting, we go over the tentative budget. So at this point, some of the state funding, like the CPPRT funds, we're like kind of finalizing those. Some evidence-based funding, they might be some changes to that. Federal grants, therefore, really throughout the entire summer in June and July, ISBE, Illinois State, there is zero Title II funds, and we use those title funds for class size reduction, and we were going to get $0 in Title II, and we've always got Title II dollars. So the tentative budget did not include that revenue, but really within the last week, I got an alert from the state that we will have Title II dollars. So that's why you do a tentative budget, to kind of go over some of the things that
At the September school board meeting, they will finalize the budget. Goebel says they have all of the salaries and benefits set, so he has a good idea of what the final budget will look like.
And then at the September meeting, we will have a final budget. And then that's when all those changes, because we know what the salaries are going to be. We have the benefits and then different kind of projects. So I have a pretty good idea But then I will, from this point on, I will start finalizing those numbers. And then honestly, at the June meeting at the very end of the school year, we'll do an amended budget.
The September school board meeting is scheduled for Monday, the 22nd, beginning at 6 p.m. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Finding the right employees can be a real challenge these days, whether you're hiring full-time or part-time. That's where the regional radio stations come in. We're here to help you connect with the qualified candidates you need. Check out IllinoisJobPost.com. That's IllinoisJobPost.com. It's part of our comprehensive radio and internet employment campaign designed to get your job openings noticed. For details, just reach out to your account manager. Put the power of radio and the internet to work for you at IllinoisJobPost.com.
Our local hospitals are the heartbeat of our communities, delivering critical care every hour of every day for everyone, training the next generation of caregivers. Beyond the walls, their benefit to the community is everywhere, driving the local economy and supporting local organizations, initiatives, and neighbors. Illinois Hospitals, healing communities. Learn more at team-iha.org. Sponsored by the Illinois Health and Hospital Association. Aired in cooperation with the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
Breathing problems can affect every aspect of your life. Breathe easier with Gibson Area Hospital Pulmonology Clinic and Dr. Ismail Bobat, now providing pulmonology health services to DeWitt County at Warner Hospital in Clinton. Dr. Bobat is an expert at identifying and treating pulmonology health conditions. Get the right diagnosis